I will dwell on the word krotost, gentleness, and translate it into numerical values: 10, 70, 50, 90, and 100. Then the absolute values of -10 plus 10, -90 as the negative value, and 800 as a positive value. Now, what do you understand from this 10? Take the Bulgarian letter K in printed form. You have a straight line that descends from top to bottom. This straight line indicates that the circle in life is divided. This is the diameter that passes from top to bottom through the center of this circumference. So it's gentleness that separates one kind of life from another. What kind of life? Evil from good. This line divides the circle in two. After this, there's another line that comes from above toward the straight line, and the other one from that center and downwards. Then 3 angles form on that line, with each one being 60 degrees. When they're all added together, they'll make 180 degrees. When we want to study the development of man's life, this singular unit is the human spine. Let me explain, namely, why the gentle ones will inherit the earth. The line that formed the snake's spine is fused with the face because there's no deviation. So the snake's face is behind and not in front. This is why we say that certain people have a double face, one in front and one behind, the face of the snake. In the dog, which has already begun to develop, this angle of the face has begun to rise to 45 degrees, and it runs from behind towards the front. When it comes to the elephant, this angle rises to 90 degrees. In man, to 180 degrees. Hence, the face is parallel with the spine. This is why we say that 2 added quantities are equal to the sum. So the sum of the values in front and the values in the back are equal to 180 degrees. And consequently, the number 2 shows the movement of human life from behind toward the front, leading to humanization. And so, by the word gentleness in this formula, the letter K, we understand a face that has passed from 1 degree to 180 degrees. I said these 3 angles that create a form on this letter K are under 60 degrees. By truncating the 0, we are left with 3 6s. This is why it is said in Revelation that the sign of the evil one is 666. What does 666 mean? This is a ship without a steering wheel. The 0 is a movement that goes to the back of the ship. This is a propeller. Isn't this wheel the one that moves behind the ship? When it comes to this propeller, this wheel, we find the steering wheel of life itself. This 666 is 3 times 6, 18. The 0 is missing, which is the steering wheel that carries the ship forward. If this ship maintains its force and doesn't have a steering wheel to guide the path, catastrophes will always occur in life. I say, all people who don't have a steering wheel are bad. Some people tell me, he's a bad person. I say, he doesn't have a steering wheel. How can this person straighten himself out? When he's given a steering wheel, and in our human language, this means cultivate his will. Create a will in this person. When I say create a will, the word will is also a formula for me. In this place, the number 6 means the logic in life. To be able to reason correctly and to succeed in all your endeavors. To be happy. Those who have a logical mind are gentle people who succeed in all their endeavors and are always happy. There is no discontent in their souls, and they don't covet riches at all, since all the earth belongs to them. They are people who don't believe in private property and don't covet it. Private property is the greatest invention of the devil. I'm not referring to the country, but I'm referring to the two brothers in England, whose father left them some property and they began dividing it. One of them remains an heir by right and takes everything, while the other one gets nothing. Someone could deprive himself of his property, but when? When he doesn't have a steering wheel. When he doesn't have a will, he can give it into the hand of his guardians. I define the letter R with the number 70. It means a great science. Some scientist creates a certain theory and it becomes a science. Someone else comes and creates a new theory, demolishing the old one. And in this manner, new theories spring up every day. A science that changes is not a science, but a performance. Virtue is the basis of science, and the values are absolute, unchangeable. They are mathematically determined. This number 70 contains the word grace. That is, all those conditions in which man can develop. The letter O is the number 50 and refers to the human head. Let me focus on this letter O. All of you are educated people. Most of you have finished high school, and some have higher education. Suppose we drop a diameter through the center of this letter O. The sphere will separate into two parts. What will form if you turn the circle around its axis? A sphere will form, won't it? But imagine that you put another axis on this circle and the circle rotates around its center and its diameter at the same time. And if you put a point within that circle that's spinning in two directions, can you calculate where this point will be after 1 minute of motion? If it makes 1,000 revolutions per minute while simultaneously spinning around its diameter? This point will go around the surface of the entire sphere. You would see it zigzag and wonder what this phenomenon is. This phenomenon stems from the fact that the circle spins around its diameter at the same time. So the human head also moves around itself, and then around the heart. The two of them are as one movement. Then the letter O means liberation. Some woman is pregnant, she gives birth, so she liberates herself. You hate someone, but then you end up loving him. Two people reconcile or forgive each other. All of these refer to the letter O. Only within the letter O can you forgive. That is, when you have a head. People who don't have a head cannot forgive. Someone says, I can't forgive. I say, you don't have a head. But this is impossible for me. I say, you don't have a head. That's the end of it. The third thing about the letter O is freedom. Only those people who have a well-formed head, a brain, only these kind of people, only such a home, only these kind of societies, men and women, children and friends can be free. A head is required here. The Bulgarians oftentimes refer to themselves as a head of the family, head of the party, and so on. Yes, as long as your head isn't made of layered husks, it shouldn't be onion-like. And so the letter O has 9 qualities of gentleness. I say the number 90 is a negative value. That is, the gentle person is always ready to pay off his debts. You don't need to send him red sheets. He comes to pay off his debts exactly on time. If he offends you, he'll punish himself. He won't put the blame on others, but he'll say, I'm guilty. I'm that musician. I'm not allowed to play off key. Since I have a developed brain and good hearing, I should play these and these keys absolutely correctly, and I should play them well. Consequently, the gentle person punishes himself in order to straighten himself out. And he doesn't punish himself for his own self, but for the sake of the others. And I'll tell you what this punishment consists of. When the gentle person sees that someone's field is not plowed, he harnesses his oxen and plows it himself. This is his suffering for the well-being of his neighbor. When such a gentle person who has a full bag meets a hungry person, he takes down his bag and feeds his neighbor. If the gentle person is a teacher, when his students make mistakes, he knows how to fix them. When he meets blind people, he doesn't start pondering, but he opens their eyes. This is what the letter T means. The letter T means to reconcile the mind and heart within yourself. The men and women will have to find common ground. They have to reconcile. When matchmakers bring together a young man or woman, do they see whether the two of them match? When a young woman married, the hen started to crow, but she said to him, "Don't crow, otherwise they might marry you off as well." Contemporary marriages resemble the marriage of John Wesley, the religious reformer in England, who got married, and after 3 days, he said to his friend, "It's not worthwhile getting married." We have the number 800, which means victory, nationhood, and the kingdom of God. The number 800 means victory over evil. Christ says to the gentle ones, "Be of good cheer. It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom." And so, what qualities do you see in the gentle person? We have 16 qualities. When we add 1 plus 6, we have 7, the number of completeness. The gentle person can rest easy on Sunday. Sunday is a day of light, and Saturday is a day of darkness.